How do you think the board is going to address the whole question of maybe a shift in views of housing and the need for more rental units and so forth? Is the board going to get itself involved in that, do you think?
I think the board is at 4 fairgrounds. I think, I spent 2 days on the vineyard last week trying to talk to folks about affordable housing, what they're doing over there. I think what we can do is provide leadership and provide tools for the private sector to deal with the problem. Over on the vineyard, I was talking to a gentleman about modular houses, very small. We have a great tradition of small houses on Nantucket out in Sconset, closely packed cottages, and that gives flexibility in the future versus apartment buildings. I think providing models and plans and zoning requirements that create more housing but make it permanently affordable, policy measures, I think we can work towards solving that problem.
But traditionally, up till now, the board hasn't taken a leadership role in that area.
They haven't, but I think they see the need for it, and I think it's doubly so because to get as we evolve as a town, we need more and more really high quality staff. And to get that staff, we need housing, just like any business.
What about the whole question of 80% of our taxes being paid by non-resident taxpayers?
When I go out and I talk to folks in the summer community, they feel very strongly that a lot of their taxes are very low. And that there's potholes in the streets, and why aren't those fixed? And so when I talk to them about getting that stuff fixed, they're very supportive, and they don't feel that their taxes are exuberantly high compared to elsewhere where they have second homes. So I think, in my mind,
or first homes,
you can go up to Vermont and New Hampshire and have a $400,000 house and pay what you'd pay on taxes for your $2 million house here. It's very good. Also, at the same time, you got to factor in the cost of owning a home. There's sewer on Nantucket, there's water, electricity rates are high, so there's other things you need to be cognizant of. You can't just talk about taxes. And I think when you add all those things together, it's still a very good investment to be on Nantucket, and it's a great place to live, and it's not overly expensive. We can make things better and pay for housing to keep the culture here, to keep the people here. That's what Nantucket's about. It's not about the beaches. The people are what's important.
But the beaches make the people, too.
Exactly. They're not mutually exclusive,
That's
but
right.
We always have to remember the people are the most important thing, and why would you go anywhere if there wasn't great people?
Do you foresee a large growth in the business community here? There's been talk of a second supermarket chain, but that sort of died away.
Yeah.
The economics of a 3-month market.
I personally, Dan, would like to see kind of a shift in our economy. I think we focus a lot on kind of the peak season, and talking to the old timers, some of the other business folks in the community, the business season has gotten smaller and smaller, in kind of July and August. And back in the 80s, there used to be a lot of corporate events here in the fall, more activities, more families in June. And that's kind of faded away over the years. So I think, in my mind, one of the things I want to pursue is municipal broadband is happening in 34 counties across Massachusetts. I think, why shouldn't we have free high-speed internet in downtown that helps the bottom line for folks around the island? And I think that would help bring in some other businesses to the island to kind of keep things going year-round. Last time I was here, we talked about manufacturing a little bit, and, there's a lot of waste materials on Nantucket. We could be reusing and producing stuff, and I think that's going to be the change the island makes. Also trying to do more education here. We have a great opportunity with funding and natural resources to get folks from, Harvard, Duke, all sorts of, schooling activities to come to the island and do educational activities. So I think that's we have to, as a community, make a choice to grow in that direction. And that's something that can happen in time. But I don't promote growth outright in the summer season. I think we need to shift into try to spreading things out and kind of creating a little more stability across our economy.
If you can figure out how to do February, you really got it made.
Yeah. Well, we have a turkey plunge, and that brings people here. So
it's November. It's not February.
Yeah.
What else would you? What else do you think is important?
What else do I think is important? Well, lately I've been getting out, this summer, I've been just trying to sail a lot. In the past, I've just been working really hard, and then the selectman keeps you really busy on top of that. And this year I've kind of just slowed down a little bit, learned how to say no to a lot of work.
Mm.
And so I've been really getting out sailing, enjoying the water,
Mm.
fishing. And so that's really caused me to think a lot more about the way of life on Nantucket,
Mm.
how it's been. When you read, Clint Andrews' book, or,
Mhm.
about fishing around the
Right.
island from back in the day.
Or even Alfie's new book, we were just talking about that a little while ago.
Alfie's books. Yeah. So I think there's a lot, there's no shipbuilders on Nantucket.
Mhm.
Let's get a boat building place. We talk about, trying to get economy around here. I think that's something we really need. But for me personally, what I've been excited about is just being out on the water.
Yeah, the difficult, I mean, people have tried boat building. I know of a couple.
Yeah.
And one of them may have even moved off the island. I haven't seen him in a long time. But people try it, and it doesn't, for whatever reason, it doesn't work. Whether it's a marketing issue or an fundamental economic
Yeah.
issue because of the cost of getting materials here, the cost of shipping
Yeah.
things off island. Something that might be worth considering is setting up a task force to sort of try to identify areas that might be productive,
areas
whether it be waste recycling of some kind
Mhm.
or oyster shell recycling or whatever
Yeah,
it might be,
yeah.
just to get people to really focus on it and think
Mhm,
about it, so it
mhm.
happens in less than a haphazard way.
Yeah, no, definitely. Definitely.
Well, Tobias, it's wonderful to have you with us again, and keep at it.
Thank you, Dan.
Tobias Glidden.
Thank you.